קדושים אשר בארצנו, ואבירי כל חפציו. ירבו עצמויסו מאחרו, ובעשיך מסכם עידו, ובעלסו אשמויסו עצמוסוי. אז אדוי מנוס חלקי וחויסי, אתה טוי מחלוני. חבול נפלו מבנימים, עד נחלה שופרוי. עמולי חסדנו אשר ירצוני, אך לגדול סיסוני ולצוי. שיגיסי אדינוי לנגדי סומים, כמיני בעלמוי. וכן סומך ליבי ביוגל כבודי, אך בסורי משקול ובטח. לא יסעזוי נפשי בשוי, לא יסיתן חסי בכל, לא ישוחס. תהייני אוי לחיים, סוי בסמוכוי שסכונכו, נימוי סביבין חונצה. sind doch Wochen, später. יושב בשמיים ישחוק. ש"ס, זמן שמחוסנו, שמחתם לפני השם אלוהיכם, זה זמן של שמחי יסיירו, ישרוך לבלרוב ויסוס ושמח, ובואי אלו נפש נוקי בצד. In den Schamaien ist gewaltige Simche, when a Nefesh, Noki, the Tzadik, comes to Shamaim. I don't think anybody has a better muscle of a Nefesh, Noki, the Tzadik, than this Isha G'doyla, the Nefesh of this Isha G'doyla. This great woman, was nizdaket, ausgereinigt, mit Isurim Neroim, wie am Onda Al-Daiton, Holy Mechayel, and she withstood every Nisayan, she championed every club, am schätzten und heiligsten Eifen. Spoil und Vivi und Kavossi to be mastered such a Isha G'doyla. Not talking about reaching those madregas, even to talk about such madregas, I'm only here as a close yedid of the mishpacha. We follow this masechta from the very beginning. schwere Messechte, gewaltige Missiones, gewaltige Jesuren, Jesure Aguf, Jesure Nefesh, over a period of 23 years. Gewaltige Missiones en gewaltige Mitzraynes, gewaltige Transfer given at every step, at every juncture. So we Masechta of overcoming Misyonis again and again with gewaltige Madreges of Emunah and Bitoch. So Masechta with many prokim, many chavakim, many sugyas. Gewaltige Misyonis, and never for a moment, I think I could say never for a moment, the Meshach, the 23 years, was there ever a pipuk, a questioning of the Dark Hashem. Madreges, this Akedah that we're seeing here, this Vayelchu Shneim, Shloshton, Abaton, Yachdo, Vayelchu Shneim, Yachdo. Without ever thematisch werkrecht, ever like the Levaya, it's our Nosam al Pneim. It's not really one Masechta. It's Kama Masechtas. This is the Masechta of the Grace and Nifteris. There's a Masechta from the Tate. There's a Masechta from the Mama. There's a Masechta of the Gewaltige, the Heilige of Rivky. The Masechta of the Dasheff Mishpacha, sei gesund. The Nifteris, Rivky went from when she was in elementary school. She was always on a different level. She was always in Mispalelis. Her friends always knew Rivky as a davener. Her friends always knew Rivky daveners. But Tfilas went on and on. She lived with her Tfilas. At every juncture, with Tfilas, versteht sich, sie gestiegen, she grew. There were different tzrachim. Daughter reminded me when she was a small child, she already had her sogis. What's this main tefillah? It was a chalamayit, it was this period of time. They have these organizations all the organizations that take it upon themselves to be Mesameach these children. And they had a concert in which she partook. And there were, versteht sich, the singers, and one of the singers sang a tune, which is ganz yadua, for the words, B'Rosh Hashanah Yikaseimu, V'Yom Tzom Kippur Yikaseimu. And she went over to the singer and approached the singer, and she told him, celebrity Kenigim, she doesn't think it's appropriate for these words. Sie schon gewähnt am Ischalalas, sie verstanden the Pirush HaMilos, and it's inappropriate. As a 12-year-old child, the tachlis of these organizations with these singers and these concerts are to help these children be Mesiach Das. Rivky wasn't one to be Mesiach Das. She was Sameach, Tzakifeit, Shas. I was present by one of these concerts. She showed Simcha, she was Besimcha, but Behefsach HaDas, that wasn't for her. She was Chesed. I just heard from a woman in Maisa last night. There's an organization called Make-A-Wish Foundation, that when children, Nebach, these Chaloy, these Machnas, children that are terminal, they offer them up to $10,000 a wish that they can make. One child chooses Disneyland, one child chooses a baseball, a concert, a Maise, Ebsa, Davagashmi. Rivky went over to her father and told her, I'm going to Gated. I'm going to Gated Seminary. So if you won't steigen. So if you won't steigen. She was always a basal here. The Midas Davis, Snei and Alois, people never had such a matzim. The derech is, from Westen Neufen, they become consumed with themselves. They become consumed with themselves. I know from what I remember, I also spoke to a few friends over the last few hours. It's unbelievable how at every stage in her life, she had Schwierigkeiten, and how much she verkindert her friends. She was smeicha b'simchasam with the ganze Shleimus. And what's even more interesting is, she was nice and ba'ar with them on the most trivial things. In a big madrega. Last I heard she was so related to the Meduka B'Yisurim, the Kavregel B'Adloish. And at the moments when she was not having the Yisurim Nefesh were gewaltig, the Daibus were gewaltig, the Pachad was gewaltig, and yet, nobody else had to suffer from it. Nobody felt like they suffered from it. I don't even want to say, it's a desire to say the Mishalim that I heard from friends that when they complained to her about, she was Mishurik sympathetic. She was a Chalanis, a Shekel of a Chalanis, and for such a Yenem, nobody had to suffer from it, nobody had to feel it, nobody had to. The Midas Taibis, the Chagin in Yenem, she was nice about all on the smallest thing, on the most trivial thing. Muslim. A few months ago, we went to visit them in Haverstor. We went into the house, they prepared kibbutz. It looked showed us the porch, and they showed us the yard, and they showed us ke'echad ha'adam. What was in the back rooms? The back rooms there was a hospital. The back rooms of the house they didn't show us, that was a hospital. But not a hint of anything. Jener hat nicht gedacht bleiben in der Schwierigkeit. Das ist unsere Arbeit mit des Tages. And as much as it was pachat, was die gewaltige Tage, Munde, die gewaltige Tage auf Betochen. I spoke to a friend this morning, a friend of hers, who she spoke to, Mamish, the last time that she was able to talk him out. She texted her. Of course I'm afraid. Of course it's scary. But I live with ein oid milvader, and memela I'm calm. More steht, Brachas, G'toila Ha'Ptachas, Miftichon HaKadosh Baruch Hu, L'Noshim, Yosem and Ha'Noshim. The Ruhigkeit, the Betochen, that the Eibishter gave to Noshim is Yosem and Ha'Noshim. Shenem Ha'Noshim Sha'ananos, Noshim, who are calm. Koim Noshma and Koimli, Bonos Boitchois Hazeneim Rossi. The Bonos that are Boitchois, that are Ruhig, that have Betochen, Hazeneim Rossi. Besondere Kirbe that they have to the Rebbeinu Shalom, Noshim more so than Anoshim. Right afterwards, the Gemara brings, it's the next Gemara, Noshim b'may Kazachya, Vasnu Guvray b'ei Rabona, V'natra b'Guvraya, Ad Osme b'ei Rabona. A woman who was Chayel Tluin Lo Meneged, the Matziv, Kesevit the Matziv of Sakonis the Foshis. And the only thing she had in her life was her Choshev HaGeichem. She was Gesegna Mechazik consented to the Besmedrash. And again, I heard this from a friend. She says, of course I want him near me. Of course I want him near me. He's what I have. She could say that, encouraged him, was mechazik him, takabotach lo, noshim boitchois, tzadsheidik ben botach lo, lein bailo. And she was saying that mechazik him was learning. Just recently I heard, I think it was 2 months ago, he said a chabura, very mutzlich dike chabura. And his brother told her, how was he able to do it? She was in the gefährliche Maße of Yisurim. She couldn't move. How was he able to? She said, because I davened for him. She did matzliach in the Chabul. I davened for him. That was my word, doesn't give him the kasha, doesn't give him the teretz. She was a gewaltige Isha Maskeles. Gewaltige Chachama. Chochmas Noshim, Bonza Beisa, she built pretty gewaltige Bayis. But it was the Feach and Aslat Fiach, it wasn't only Bonza Beisa. During the Tkufe of COVID, where she was mamish, as much as she was restrictive, derech klar, but during the Tkufe of COVID, she was mamish, locked into the house, which couldn't maga masa with anybody or anything. She undertook a new project, which she learned this forum, and she took on a project of teaching, saying shiurim in binyan bayis, in shodom bayis, and people were glued to it. She used to do that. It was on the phone, it was a shia. I once or twice took part in listening to the shiur, while they were listening to it. gewaltige Divrei Chachma, gewaltige Pikchus, Isha Maskeles. Solche, der Mann, Talmud Chacham Muflid, Yoichi, I was told at the Rabbonim, Paskend, usually not Maspid, Yisruchag, I was told, Vek Tashayle, na Eishtes Chove, Vek me Maspid sein, Stama Eishtes Malach, Vek me Sicher Maspid sein. Die ganze Weise Malach, aber ein Malach, was es so schnell ist. Sein Liegen und Lernen, sein Gekir bei Teira, wie Hefse, die Posselpul mit Girse, ich leuke der Chateva im Ganzen. Physical tildes, and the emotional tildes, and the attachment, their Chateva would make it impossible to open a sefer. And Rabbi Yoichi, during the Torah Shalom Tava'af, what macht a sefer? And the shortness between them was such. I remember when the sefer came out, they made a Sudim. The Sudim gave me a Chasen, we macht Chasen our kids. And Rivky was involved in every prat, how the Sudim should look and what they should prepare to be so loiseh. Kapelle, die Geschutnis. And then the Shlichus of the gewaltige Messirus, the gewaltige Ne'emanis, from the beginning, it's Mavi and Mavish, the whole Maisa is Mavi. The Shlichus of the Messirus to every part of her care, like in the Chateva. That comes from the Mishpachas Dasheff. Oh, Mishpacha, unforgettable Bechutten. The words that come to mind, in this Parsha, when you think of Mishpachas Dasheff, is Tomim Tiyeh Hashem Elokecha, Sakrashi, Yisalech Imay B'Tmimus, ותצפלוי, וסבקה אחרי הסידס, כל מה שנובע ילך כמה בתמימוס. ועוז תהיה אימא לחלקה. wie es man solche Chel Kashem Amoy, wie es man solche Tier immer Lechelkoi, with this tmimis, with this Lasachne Hasidus, El Kol Mash Yomer Lechelkoi tmimis, it's a living example. The Shmach Dasheff is a living example of this Chazal, this Rashi. Versteht sich auch, der Beis HaYoitzer von der gewaltigen Klima vor, der Bruder Mishpachtoi, 23 years in Bayern Schnee Yachdog, mit der gewaltigen Simche, Zalose Alpana, es sei mehr von der Kinder Anoshe, kein Mensch geriert, nicht in seiner Beis Hashem, nicht in seiner Gierbeteure, nicht in seiner Botzesteure, nicht in der Munde, nicht in der Betochen, eine gewaltige Oyman Ichoyma, eine gewaltige Starkheit, Teveach on Astat Fiach. Those who want to bear witness to what this factory, this Beis HaYotzer, produces, only have to spend Simchas Torah in Beis HaTalmud. This was after, I am told now, that the whole family gesettet sich already with Rivky on Erev Yom Tov. The simcha on every one of the children is looking at an avoider was sich ausgelernt. In Ruach HaMoshel Yamar Alecho, Rashi says it's wrong, Amidas Adin, B'koyim Chal Tanach. Es genau Kinder von der Sturm, was sich gehodet wird, was kommen von Mishpachas, those who remember the Zaydes, the Starkheit, the Gvure, the Simcha, they carry the Hakofis of Beis HaTalmud, Pshuti K'mashmor. Those come from the Beis HaYotzer, comes from a lot of practice and a lot of observing from our Tate, from our Mama. I also heard from a friend this morning. He said, she spoke to the Rifteris recently. Whenever I get a little bit afraid, the ruhigkeit that comes when my mother comes in, that she carries with her when she comes into the room, gives me gewaltige menuche. The Sha'ananus is a Yerusha. The Rosh Sha'ananus is not from today, not from yesterday. There's a Sha'ananus. There's a focus. Was der ganze Sturm ist angesagt mit dem. Soll er eben, dass sie alle geben Keuches weiterzutragen, sie haben die Keuches, zu tragen sich und zu tragen jenem. Eben, dass soll helfen, und Bila, Abbas, Landetza, Vermocha, Hashem, niemand mehr halt auf Honnen.
Rashi brings. We say this, Hashem tells Chal Yisrael, we're with you the whole Rosh Hashanah, the whole Kippur, the whole Sukkot, and it's Kasha, Halai, Rei Dasheff. Ik Fuli, stay with me a little longer. Rivky, Kasha, Halai, Rei Dasheff. We don't know. We don't know how we're going to continue. Yeah, your smile, your taiva, your focus on trying to find small things to be happy about. It's not easy. Through it all, and we're making the Torah. We didn't realize till it happened that it was going to happen. We constantly believed in Yeshua. For many reasons, we wanted Yeshua. Like the Pasuk says, she wanted to be a Kvod Shemayim. Yiru Rabim V'Yiru V'Yiftechu Hashem. She was hoping and hoping and hoping she was going to be the Semel. She was going to be able to bring Kvod Shemayim into this world through Yeshua happening. Well, one of the things we said throughout the whole Yimei Inui was we have David HaMelech's Tefillah of Samcheinu Ki Moisim Sanu Yimei Inui Hashem Yigei Vot. Samchenu at the end of it. She had plans from day one, from when we first got married, until Shmini Atzeres. Plans how we're going to raise our family. She kept on telling me, we have to work on this, because it's not going to be just what we tell our kids. We have to get better at this. We have to get better at that. When I say there wasn't a Samchenu, I mean the Samchenu of Yeshua. We all know Rivky, who said the Samchenu, her Simchas Chaim was not to be believed. The levels of tsar on physical, people tell you went through so much. I can say I was with her hundreds of appointments, thousands of nights. But yet I still don't have a kiruzel, one of the tsar that she went through. There's so many things I try thinking about. The so-called Zaitik tsars, the side tsars. The IV wasn't working one night, this, that, throughout the years. The side tsars. They all added up to create a tremendous tsar. The emotional tsar. And maybe the biggest tsar for her was the tsar she felt believed. She always wondered why. I felt finally of Chatzka to the altar. Miss Vashulia Mashabas, Tzadikim, there's a Sul Beves Hashem, Ranam Tzadikim Hashem. What do you think the shir, what do you think the Avodah that they're saying is? So the altar, Lahagi, Ki Yashar Hashem, Suri V'laya Masabai. Ki Yashar Hashem, B'chol Ma'aseu V'amuna. It's not a simple Avodah, it's an Avodah of a lifetime. I told her so to Rivky, she felt such a nechama, because she was happy, but it wasn't easy. She was trying to figure out why, what could we do better, what could we do? She constantly tried focusing on small things that regular people don't even think about. She was able to get dressed today, she told me. She was never able to stand up for Shemana Esrei the way she does, and then when you ever saw her, she was on the couch, but she would move up so her back wasn't in the back, so if that was her cover for her to greet Hashem, she was usually laying back and she needed to sit in the front of the couch. I remember once came home, she's like, look, today I thought Shemana Esrei standing. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing with Shemayim is usually, but I know that after all the malachim of the mitzvahs come in, the malachim of the averos come in, if you all the malachim of all those charges, that you repel the hammer, the doors are going to open, thousands and thousands are going to come. She found such a secret in such things. She loved people. She had such a secret just sitting with somebody and schmoozing with them. It's one of the things that I feel like the guy, the others have to ask Mechila. Left her alone for so long. So many hours. Every day she's having to cut. I kept saying, sure, I should bring my Harusa home. She's like, looking for better cuddle. Well, nicer she was home alone for many hours. Maybe she wasn't working. And she got such a sipuk, such a geschmack when she just sat with somebody and connected to somebody and schmoozed over on Ashkaf for his damn things. Remember, she was bothered. She told me one of the biggest sorrows that she has is why. You know, because I'll say, when the tzara, the Eibishter is with us. And she said, the main time, they don't know why it's happening, I don't know what the end is. The Eibishter is not possible. He's the one who understands everything. How could he tell truth to my tzar? How could he feel my tzar? My tzar is that I don't know why. I don't know what's the end going to be. I don't know what's going to end up being. Even so, how do we believe? But maybe one of the things that kept up her simcha was a tremendous kibud, tremendous hope. She hoped from day one when we got married. She had tremendous plans, tremendous hopes. And the first night we came home, she had set up in the house. She told me she learned many times the Chazal, Shchanti V'Seicham, every house is an Shchina, so she puts more cards in, like a mental, she was so normal about it, it wasn't weird, she put on the table, this is Ms. Be'er, the music, then the Chamas, keep like a cup, and she would buy the sink or key, or she tried making it with her, with the normal, didn't come across as anything crazy. It was an Amalekite. She had so much hopes and plans. After the transplant, I remember the first meeting with the doctor. She turned to the doctor. And she's like, when are we able to have kids? The doctor looked like her like she was in sugar. It's not a question she ever gets, really. She didn't give up. After a few years, the doctor said, maybe. The fancy said, no, still too much of a sakana. She didn't give up. There wasn't exactly well, that wasn't enough for her. She kept on pushing and prodding. Got some more information. Got the askama. Went to Chaim. We got the bracha. And she had 2 misses. She worked so hard. I'm telling you, she never gave up. This past Pesach, we were like a year and a half into treatment. We're up to the 4th option. So we're sitting with the doctor, I've got a ship guy. And he started telling us, this option is not such a good option. We should try. I'm not going to be into full remission. We have a few drugs for you. Combination. And the side effects, he starts listing us the side effects. The first one's dizziness, emotions, and this. The third one, it causes headaches, it causes birth defects, during pregnancy, this, that, and he stops it. It's like, birth defects. How long does the birth defects go for? And the doctor says, what do you mean? And she said, what do you mean? They're showing me get better. I want to know if these pills are going to allow me to have kids after. That was the best Pesach. Such a optimistic, I pointed out that you know what we just did. It's like, no, that's what I hope, that's what I believe in. As we see so many times, that's in key we can quote Yeshua, Shemeni Kel, Ki Chasisi Bach, Chus, V'chanenu Rachman, V'chanenu Eloi, Ki Rachanenu, Kavoi Kivisi, V'yet Elai, V'mishma Shabasi, Kavoi Kivisi, Rivky Shumahed, V'yet Elai, V'mishma Shabasi, V'zaychatu. So much focus, especially about master. She said, I remember when I was on one of the dates we were somewhere and I shouted the bracha on top and I passed him one way and she calmly made the bracha the way she did. I was like, you sure? She's like, yeah. And I remember going to her room the next day, I was like, she was not for me, it's not like, yeah. I feel like I'm on her presence. I was like, what do you mean? She lived 3 years in Gates. She chazed with stuff. You're upset that she listened? She has so much focus. Give over, and yet there were so many times that she was stuck at home, not able to give it over in the ways that maybe she wanted to. She wasn't able to work, she wasn't able to cook, she wasn't able to clean, and somehow she stayed happy. I've asked her, I'm sure many people asked her, said she lived early on during Shem Yushem already, and she was at home, she's not cooking, not cleaning. And we were still happy to be in her presence. She realized that she's somebody who's worth, even if she's not doing, just her being in this world and Hashem's planet is enough for her to be with Simcha. And it's enough that makes people want to be with her. And that was maybe she was the Yechidi school in that regard. There's so many times she felt like she wasn't accomplishing maybe, but yet she was still so happy in the state of being. It's not something any of us can really be massive, but we can take a little part of it. To be happy just that Hashem decides to have us here on this planet. To do as much as we can, even if we're not doing in the state of being. How many times? I don't make a shul but in the 10.5 years, I never once came home and Rivky wasn't smiling. I got up there when my father's still in bed. And a big smile on her face. It's like, are you okay? So glad to see you. She me so. And I know that's why I can't be lost with you. You didn't see me, you didn't mean it. That's how much of they want until recently. She was so nervous she was going to leave this world without a key. Without a response. And I told her a month ago, who's a little bit of Rivky, few children. From before my classmate today, I don't recognize myself. The way you affected me, I'm a different person. You don't know how long I'm going to be walking around in this world. With this man or that man, so many things. Food, you're super geheim. Ik heb alles gezegd, dit. You're shy yesterday. The reason why you were so pained by him is because he felt he's a hero of our. She told me once. It's hard to imagine. Once on the way to the doctor, she was crying in the morning. I was like, "Are you scared for the appointment?" She's like, "No." She's like, "You're always today." Every day, Hashem wakes me up. He says, "Rivky, today you're going to be sick." Tomorrow he wakes me up. Today you're going to be sick. He's like, "Come back up tomorrow. I'm going to feel better." You know what that means? That every day, because he decides, today I'm going to be sick. Tomorrow I'm going to be sick. That kind of comes from between the shaykhs that he's coming up. And he's able to do whatever he wants, and he's deciding physically to make me sick today. And it hurt her. She felt like a dagger in her arm. Rivky finally going to the police. Every breath for the past 10 years she felt since the transplant. Every single breath she loved taking walks, but sometimes it was too much for her. She finally can go and see the reason. Dan wakker we in samen. Het is one thing I can remember is from the Tzibur, all was a nur, but he didn't. There's only one way that we can remember is Rivky. How she affected me and changed me into a different person going forward. That's going to be the way that Rivky has a safe in this world. We could say we're going to remember her smile, we will. We have to take out something that we learned from her, simply Chaim, for us as I did. Whatever it is, everybody can figure out that I'm going to show. And really take that going forward. That we can tell Rivky, you didn't have any physical children. Rivky had many children. And deeply taught until the Sayyid in that way. So much to say. Rivky. She told me she's not nervous for herself. She's nervous for her Mishpah. She knows she's going to place in the entire family. She told me what's going to be with Tati, what's going to be with Mom. What's going to be with the siblings who love me so much and my family. And maybe it's just going to be tiring here, but once I'm up the next world, I know it's going to be fine. How are they going to go on? And I don't know how much we would love to come visit you. That's not necessary to see the smile. And to be enveloped in your presence. I don't get with the show. What was the notes? I'm trying to be helpful fun.
Du hast Liebe Rivky, we're all standing here, the ganze Mishpache, Tati, Mami, the Bjochi, die Schwieger, alle Kinder, Schleimi, Mishpachto, we're all here. Chami, Mishpachto, Chemel, Mishpachto, we're all here. Bibi, Mishpachto, Chani, Simcha, David, Koishi, Yaakov, all the Chavitas, alle Bekannte, we scream out, morgen Geschrei. Ich darf nur Gebäude, werden mit meinen vor, wie kann das sein? You fought such a fight for 23 years, nicht angelost. Und wir guckten mal oben in front of the Malacham Mobbes and said, I'm not scared of your fight. And she fought and fought. Ich darf nur Gebäude besuchen am Chome. Who knew that this one was different? At 10 years old, you fought the cancer of them with all its hardships, with the surgeries, with the heart went in and out, and Nachas would be crawling on the floor, I remember. First year Rosh Hashanah, you still have yet to go. It's Kias who wanted to go. Remember where you stood, the Zashtos, wearing a shakel, 10 years old, you didn't fell out. You had the backpack, and you remember exactly what you wore. You said, the Zashtos. So pride as Abbas Yisrael. So Duchazei feel it every single time from that moment on. So you had a line, give a long journey of Avodas Hashem. Ich darf mir Gebäude bejögt, du Klei Milchama, you had your own Klei Milchama out to fight everything. That was the first time we went to Mount Sinai. The first biopsy you had, and many biopsies, how were we to know? We were in the waiting room, there was an old doctor, 70-year-old doctor, named MC Springfield. Came in all the way to the waiting room to pick you up. And you walked with him down the hall, we were watching you from afar, you didn't turn around. After the biopsy, we asked you, Rivky, you weren't scared to go yourself in the doctor. You were all alone. So he goes, no. She goes, no. Hashem was with me. From 10 years old, that she gespielt, that the Rebbeinu was with her. And now, Rivky, you're with the Rebbeinu Shalom. 23 years of being with the Rebbeinu Shalom. Pasuk steht, wie das Lennon Hasidu Aspal, Eimoi Rois. I'll add on you bad Rois. Chitzai Achalebom. I'll be mashlim all my chitzim, all my arrows in you. Azak Lola. Klal Yisrael, Keilu will finish off all the arrows that he has. He's going to finish off on the Klal Yisrael. But Rashi brings down, B'teich HaParanus is Doa Brocha, because Rashi is Sifri, Chitzai HaChalebom, I will finish all of my chitzim, all my arrows. Aber beheim lo yuchlu, they will not be annihilated, they will not be finished. Klal Yisrael will last. Is the Pashtus lengthened, that it's a continuation of the Teichich of Pashtus and Koisai. V'af be'eretz eileihem, le'ma'astim, le'ga'altim, le'chaloisom. Because Baruch Hu gives out Tochi, will not be Mechalek Klal Yisrael. So Ken's in Deutschland and in Europe is the Kiloyed, but in America and Israel is the Tia Plato. Never a time has a show like a Baruch Hu Mechalek Gans Klal Yisrael. If that is nicht gut, so there's a place that steht dort. Aber Rivky hat es nicht gewählt, das ist nicht im Schad. Und sie kennt sein, dass sie gerecht, und das erste Post im Schad. The same person was a schitz, I have the selbe Mensch, der the Chmarel and Slav, all the Boyeshe spears and arrows, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave to her, Kilu HaKadosh Baruch Hu was machted the chitzim, aber beheg lo yuchlo. Rivky was never in the Nichla, Rivky kept on going weiter. From day one, when she knew already, it's undercooked the Machamoves and Polim. She knew already the Sakonis. Aber she went weiter. I can't do this. Let me uncover this warm stream that I can be supreme with, that I can be about Israel with. I can't do this. It's not enough, Bas Yisrael. This does not enough. She missed this year of school and that year of school, but she never gave up. She was always ahead of everyone else for us because she understood this place more pnim. Until it came to a darge was letztens, mamish, ich kann euch sagen, moisar ha'odom in ha'behei ha'oyin. It was a darge that she mamish was Yosef in the behei ha'oyin. But she still had that stolz name, and she told Mami, that's a chayt, it's not a shekel chazach. Everything is up, the colon was ripped to pieces. Als ich gesagt hat, der Name, if I'll be fine with it, if I'll come to terms with it, it'll be fine. Where is a gebelte? I can accept it, if I'll be okay with it, and I won't matter for anyone else either, it'll be fine. As a herricate. She Leston said, some members of Mami, she said, I've done my hishtadlus. I did a lot of hishtadlus. The Ebrish had many chances to heal me if he wanted. Face he doesn't want. Let's look at that. If there's cancer and there's chemotherapy and there's radiation, there's der and she saw hecha from it and she had gesagt, nein, die alle Sachen only goes under the category of hishtadlus. The Eibishter that healed, the Eibishter has to heal me. I did my hishtadlus, now the Eibishter has to heal me, and my stage he doesn't want it, so I know that he doesn't want. That's how she accepted these two Rebbeinu. They love the Oyim, the Hechekait for them. Kiyum of Nishmarten. The Kiyum of Nishmarten. How she washed herself. That she has to show that she should get worse of a cat. She should make herself better. The diet that she put on herself, no sugar, the cancer grows on sugar. The Meshuvah, the kid, the chastas that she didn't go to. The other people that went through transplants, and I see them very often in chasnas. She was so miserable that chasas shalom should be from her. The status that she has to do has to be the utmost of an age of hell, but it has to be her status. She wouldn't go to chasnas. And there, if you ask any girl, any young woman, if you haven't seen your mother in a while, or you go through a shveret kufa, and then you see your mother, what's the first thing you do? You get her up from your mother. That boy said 8.5 years of Zichnish she didn't allow herself to get a hug from her mother because maybe it'll be dangerous. 8.5 years. With the schwerste Kufis, she wouldn't allow herself that pleasure. Und wird geschmeichelt weiter. She smiled weiter. They are the Oyim. Keep it up, I have no words. Ich weiß nicht, der Dörr so noch eine, dass sie versteht, what it means to keep it up. Through all the Schwierigkeiten of all the years, and I was with her, many times, the first time in hospital, the second time I went with her, 150 days in the short school, 6 months, to the hospital together. Never one krechts, not one. When the lungs failed after the chasana, the lungs collapsed. I heard, oi, oi, as she's rubbing herself. I never heard anything like it, oi, oi, and that was it. There was one time I was over at Pashto Gnev's Das. I was talking to her on the phone. I said goodbye, And she thought she hung up the phone. And the minute I finished with her, she burst out crying. Verstanden? This is all a cover-up. Soll ich bezahlen seine Tate? Soll ich bezahlen seine Tate? Wenn wir euch sagen, it's the Efsche, so ich bin da in der Benordnung. Aber this place is a place of a malach. A number of years ago, we contacted one, which is an incurable cancer, skin cancer, unless it's caught early and taken out of surgery. When she was diagnosed, this is 5 years back or something, after the transplant, nobody collapsed. It was such a shock. So she said to Yochi, Daddy, Mommy, I can't be with size this without telling them. We went to ask her about a good year, Shiloh. I think it's out that she feels she can handle it. She should handle it. Allein durchgegangen, der cancer without telling us. We found out Friday, Chalamoid, in the hospital. Yochi told us this is what happened. We never knew this would happen. Nicht nur nicht erzählt mich als Meister. Afterwards, she's from an AI. Durchgemacht allein. She was able to do it alone. And then she just negated it. Was Sachen mit size and that's what over. She did not say a word. Never said anything. This is a malach of the King Mamish. She was able to take through a cancer on her own without telling her parents and nicht mit size. Oh my Brüder, but when Shabbos, great Mashal Mashlas, that the Gemara, the Spedish Lotto, Nicker in the Ben Labohu, from the hesped of a person is Nicker if he's a Ben Labohu, the Trashi, Shem Kosher, Akoy Bushino, Love, waiting the boys, from the Sakri Mishmache, Rivky. I don't believe there's a dry eye here. It's like when I settled for the Kiddush Hashem. Isn't the dry eye that Shaykh to stop the boys? Doch schrecklich, so much can I durchgehen. Somehow you were able to overpower every single zach that Shaykh. This year, says Toshin Pei Hey, the Leila Seder, Mishpacha Vasili. She mamish. She was better saver, but not an hour saver. Because we were able to see the cancer protruding from the stomach. And she had no comfortable position. And she was sitting on pillows on a couch. And she said she would like to speak. And she says, it's okay. I can swallow that. Yena has this. People my age, people got bitches, I can swallow it. Oh, but we just be a goy, the doctor a goy, so a zoi kuifer sein, as a zoi gestellt in the Welt. How's it shine? So she says, the Etze, Heint bei Nacht, Pesach bei Nacht, is the Nacht von Chedus. And we're speaking the Chedus, die Zierden von Mitzrayim. So she asked, how am I supposed to feel it here in Mitzrayim? Was habe ich that I can feel it here in Mitzrayim? Look at me. I can't move, I can't sit. But if as ich tracht, what does mean the goy, the doctor? Sehe ich, what does mean, I see what it means, I see the difference between Israel and the goy. And now I can do that much show that I can start to say that because of them is the achilus, that I don't look like them. This is not, this is getracht and reach deeper and deeper and deeper within oneself. Like I say, Rivky, we must learn from you. It's time. It was such a symbol of being ecstatic with what you have, enough that you were able to smile and to feel better. It's okay. And we're not the boss, we don't have to feel we're in control because we're not in control. It was always your Lashon. How is Weisel that shade that was a chopland from them? You were petrified. You're going to be chas and shol for God. As Yochi said, remember 20 years, 30 years, spoken as a bitch. Oh, he was the Anashi in classes, no, yeah, that was with Tanitz and Shine and Rivky. I should take that in the Tendos, no, yeah, it's Sadi. Sorry, my, everything I saw. Starts with the Tendos and then it gets ecstatic. The Krashi, he gets all the same, Schultz and Dik, nice and three. So Pashtus, nice and three is something they know, they don't, they kind of. The Torah says the Ma'aseh Tovim that his person mashpia the world. Ma'aseh Tovim was as mashpia of andere. That's what we're talking about. Because we can often of andere how other people are touched by that person, how we become better by that person. That's what we mean when we say Ma'aseh Tovim able to the same Shosadikim. Kann sein, es steht Dafke bei Neuach, because bei Neuach steht doch auf Bnei Doiro, Yitzhak was not Mashpia. So, at the Kinder, yeah, but the Kinder, it's shame, the ganze shame was thought, what is it? The fact that it was Mashpia on him. When parents are Mashpia on children, das is the Rivky that they leave over. How many girls, how many people, how many older people can testify? I learned so much from Rivky. I became closer to Dasheff from Rivky. She taught me what the Smith Sachen back in the Eberste. She taught me how to go through life, and it's okay if something like this happens, because I have more within me to be happy about. How many people have been touched like Rivky said? So Shem Yochi and all of us that are different because of you, that will be your nitzchis for sure. You'll never be forgotten because everyone with his children and their children, if the parents are different, like you said yourself, the children are different. So every difference that there is coming from you. So versteht sich du lebst doch, du bist noch da, the Zeichen is da, it will never go away. Es ist echt zu sagen, your mom is Messias Nefesh. Your mother was Messias Nefesh. 23.5 years in God's you. Such a wonderful relationship. So much understanding. Your Schwieger is like gesund. How much he cared for you. Your husband, Yochi, a symbol of what it means to care for a wife. You know, I'm going to get point out from a Chatz called the Bracha for Einu. We just tell with that was there's a chayla, everyone gathers and wants to say Tehillim. He says, and we're happy with that. Really look at Sharf Lashon, he says, that's not what you're supposed to be happy with, and Haraya, once we finish the Tehillim, we walk away. So he says, the Ikka is to feel the tzar, the surim of the chayla, to build within yourself what's that person going through. Or as not that afterwards you can start davening. There's not your Chatz school. Never really understood it until I see you. Rivky, you know, the Dasheff said Connies, the Muncie and Haggis-Shul and Brooklyn all over the world. Kimat around the clock up here, Satahillim, the hardest times. Yenamir Tehillim wasn't just abgesagt and gegangen weiter because you see from the Messias Nefesh that it took in the hardest 20 minutes fullings and this time when nobody is dreaming of saying Tehillim and it's on, yeah, I'm saying, and the text is coming through, I have this and I have this and I have that. And by God, no Shemechit to Messias Nefesh that it was Rabbi Tehillim is just a zikr that's again after thinking through your Yisurim and understanding a little bit of what you're going through, doesn't mean you're not still. Although I understood your Yisurim, I would be at your side, I'd be visiting you much more often. Ich bin da, ich bin bei dir, Miss Mother, Miss Yimachila. I didn't come enough to you, I was not nice enough. Ich hätte Zusage, I didn't nice enough. All the interruption, but you then know you're lazy, Ruben, you're lazy. That's gay, was gay. Wasn't being for an issue like that to remain alone. To be so many hours every single day, why did you go visit Azateres? I was not mishtate, betzarech, enough, better for Mechila. No, for the Mama, that's what's going to get better Mechila. Kosher like you, Dasheff, like the beautiful said. Obviously, the ancient told Klal Yisrael one thing. Ikfu, Ikfu, that's the Yoim Echad. Kosher like you, Dasheff. You gave a different message. Kosher like me, Dasheff, stay with me. Keep that Shmini Atzeres going weiter. I'm taking you with me. Because Kosher like me, Dasheff, I'm taking you. Ich kann nicht mehr warten sein anymore. I must have you with me. Rivky, wir werden nicht so Yosef an der Sprache. By the Chaglayim, for all the needs that we have. Mr. Yosef, all your habitants that need Yeshuas. Mr. Yosef, all those people that you know from God's Klal Yisrael. Rivky, Kosher, like the Dasheff. Bilo Ha'amadus L'Netzach, L'Macha Hashem, Elokim Dimo Be'ato Podim, Amen.
Experienced in the last hour and a half, cycle of Yosef. The movement is for a lifetime of our ability to absorb it, to internalize it, and to build from it. And that would be the greatest matana. Each and every one of us could give with Kilash. Achi the way that Ruben called me last night, that they decided that I should answer the question based Kanira and Psak Halacha, that on the day of the Yantiv, there's a criteria that for a Ashes Chaver you make his freedom. They want me to say that Rivky was the ultimate Ashes Chaver. I imagine it's like the halacha in the Sefer Torah. We have a suffix on a noise, you bring a tinaik, like Chacham or Kippur, just knows how to read without embellishment, just sees it how it is. From my vantage point, I've watched from the day of their chasana, from the day of their engagement, how this Bacher, young Roman, Metzuyin, or Kishri Nifla, came to the yeshiva by us 15 years ago. Tremendous Cheshik Torah, riesige Geschreines. But that's what he was. He got married as a Metzuyin. Picked him for the Metzuyin that he was. Emerson Metzuyin. Longs, Abana, starts to finishing this. Chazorah, Nomi, Meitkai. But Chaverus is a higher madrega than that. A Chaver. Chaver, that's a big madrega in Allah. Eishes Chaver. We look at Hadas on Shabbos. Says very harsh things. First he says, Adam Echad Me'alef Mitzasi. Isha, Chayim Mitzasi. A few seconds later, another stick of fruit. She's like, the king also is a lot of Yasha. And it was before the Behemo. The Behemo, that the Kohen Shalom said, I told you so, Levaya. Esselay is a connector. That thing, that Behemo, that the Kohen Shalom from the Chedov, this week's parish, from what we have is geworden, now the Behemo, nicht schon Cheshbon Yisraels. Aber it's very possible the two things are related. The issue of Chalei Matzah is because the cat was going that the Behemo interferes in the Sa'ad Yash, Cheshbon Yisraels, comes with the Behemo. Anybody in this room could testify. I think I have I'm inside you. And in these years, when this Misha Gedolah became the Ashes of this Mitzrayim Biki younger man, he became a younger man that he could be the Rambam in the Tashmit and the Yovel. Nicht ein junger Mann mit Sully, nicht ein junger Mann als Schakde, nicht ein junger Mann brillant mechanisch. Ein junger Mann, was wir kennen, antappen, dem Polak, mehr Zabore, und a Cheshbon Yisrael, Sasha Bikshu in the Yodom, Vohoylech Yosha Kasher Somolikin. Which every time with Chochem that sits in Koilo, that's describing. But we shouldn't lay the blood. We learned yesterday, we'll lay the Yoma. This happened only because of Rivky. We should have been the first to be murdered. And where Chayela says, Isha v'chalei l'loy matzos, because of the Behema Bikshu, this Isha Tzidkanyis took a younger man of Mitzrayim and went the opposite. Not Behema Bikshu. No, instead of Te'ina, she did Krika. She did off the Cheshbon Yisrael, Hashem like we just heard. Where the Eibishter piled them and piled them and piled them. We don't understand Darkei Shemayim. But he piled Cheshbonis rabbis. Infinite amount of misyonis, of Hesachadas from Godless Matorah. Mishnah Loizosa bin Koima. We just heard that it was by her Mishnah Loizosa bin Koima. In a nutshell, we learned yesterday, and we learned on Shabbos, what Zibug looks like, our people have us, and how the Sishas of Konyas married a Talmud Chacham, and what turned out from that. A Matzah, a Metzia Matzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Al Chazal, Shloisha Metzias Matzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the Parshat Bereishis, the Medrash Rabbah. Matzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But the Hibshter found that this holy Shmishkin, in this holy Shmishkin Shura B'neiim, is an Isha under the most trying circumstances, built a lady Bavadik, a younger man of Porak Mi'al Sabor, V'hoylech Yoshua Kasher. To me, the telephone call, he was quite and it was an absurd call. Du sagst doch das. Du sagst doch, was da geschehen. Was sie hat getan. In die Jahren, that the Eibishter Mensch to be with this Talmud Chacham in the house. What she accomplished. The woman just mentioned Rashi, beginning of Noach. Shana Rabbah, which was the time of Sisa. We said, Leman Tomim, Midorosa, Animla, Midorosa, Shana, Yeshiyama. The Medrash Tanchuma, as a Sprach, Ein L'Toldos Noach. That's the Medrash Tanchuma's Kitzur on the words of Rashi, of Iker, let's say. Iker told us. He doesn't say even Iker. He says, Ein L'Toldos Noach. Ein L'Toldos Rivky. We sit on Rosh Hashanah. Lahava Zara Ka'afas Teidam L'Tzetzov K'chol Hayom. If we're talking in the traditional sense of Toledos, in the entire history of the world, there's no one with more Toledos than Noach. Lahava Zara Ka'afas Teidam L'Tzetzov K'chol Hayom. Kommt again in Medrash Tanchuma. Ein L'Toldos Noach. But it's not Stam Gezog. If you listened through the tears, through the sobbing, the Tate, noch mehr der Mann, so ein gesunder Stark sein, I'm begging, turn that Ein L'Toldos Rivky into Toledos. The fact that there was a Noach Ish Tzadik Tomim Oyim in the Roisov, today we still say, Klal Yisrael still says, on a Shana the first one, Leman Tomim in the Roisov, Animlat the Roisov. Because the lessons, on Griechis, the Doilo, on Torah Shabbat Peh, in the Medrash Tanchuma, they're all based on this Akdoma, Ein L'Toldos Noach. What to learn from, what to strike from. Rivky was with all what she was hiding, or what she couldn't hide, is a Zah Mesechta Arucha, like we heard from the music. What a Mesechta Arucha. And if everyone here, as Asher Yeshna put, as Asher Einenu put, will take epis, from the Malmusa, from the Madrigas, from the Amunah of Shuta, Vatzadik, and Manasseh Yichya, and the nuances that were said over here. Es ist nicht hässlich. Das ist Gebäude. Rivkis Netzach. Chaim says, what does that mean? We're bonim la'amokah. Chaim Parshas Re'eh says, because our etzem existence is Chaim Shams. That's shayach to be bonim la'amokah. Like we just heard, her Atam B'Chatonu moment by her last Seder in this world. So their primary existence, their etzem is Chai Guf. Chai Guf don't have an Aniyah Yom in the team. We, by us, it's all Netzach, it's Chai Neshamas. So we're born in L'Amakah, man the Nafach, the Gilei Nafach. Our Neshamas are Kukas from the Kisei HaKavah. Because like in our Neshama, what a thin layer of goof she was covered with. From when we know her, she was Neshama. That's cute. What we just heard, Tzitzenga. 23 years. We're calling Neshama. The Netzach, what we could take with us, priorities in life. We're all human. We're all limited. We all have moments when we forget
neshama. We need chizukim. But whenever we have a weak moment, let's remember. Isru Chag Asukas. Isru Chag Asukas. Toshim Pekov. Da haben wir Ashkafte, the Rebbe steht in Chazal, is Bezumen L'chai Olam Haba. What does that mean? They came to the Ashkafte, the Rebbe, bestanden mit eurem Gerät, was wird gedacht werden. Is Bezumen L'chai Olam Haba, what we're hearing today here at Boisai. What I heard. And just like I heard things that resonated because of closeness to the story, you all hear it that way, in one form or another. Let's grow from these nuances. Let's grow from these anecdotal moments. Let's grow from these asodis. It will grow. Our pattern will grow. Our sviva will grow. Able to do this Rivky. There's so much to say. I don't think it's fair. I understand we're operating over here. But the time constraint. Early enough said it's a soil. I'm on the shops. It's a big symbol to come together. And it's a soil. To come, Ba'alois Amincha Erev Shabbos. I don't have to remind you. Be a maid stove. First of all, to ask you, Mechila. I don't think you had it in you the union of pay. How much I saw. More than that. Remember, you have midos of Shalak HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Chati Lo Chesed Yurayich. Hamas Kol Yisrael. Right. You could be either anybody. You can say we're running in an island of Kula Neshama. You open should grow and blossom into the God of Israel that He is and that we all expected from Him, and that you wanted so much. If for your parents, for your siblings, for your friends, it's a world in itself. Kroivim, Rechaivim, young, old, Yebenzerners, Nishbenzerners, Monsi, the Kehillah G'daisha, the Koila, all the Koilas, the whole history of the Yeshiva G'daisha that raised him, Chayner, Mishpachas Dasheff, Kayanana, the siblings. So you should forgive me, we should remember everyone. And you should be made with story. You don't know, in Olam Hazeh, my favorite in Olam Hazeh was the Siddur and the Magzer and the Tiller. Imagine in Olam Haba. Should be made with story by ganz Klal Yisrael. Klal Yisrael should be zeichet to a Yeshua Gedoyla. When the kids who were around the Sheikh Neyafa, you don't know what's the Netzach and Mach Hashem and give you a
Shana Chazifil Redner's speakers that brought out Gresa Aveda, the ganze history from the letzte schwere Jahre, all the Limudim that we're able to learn, aside from the Nefteres, aside from your man, Godel Ba'anokim. One types of words. Adam HaGodel Ba'anokim means a big person among giants. Normal, we know a Russian Gebäude von unserem, what's called big by us. This issue that I gestellt, a man was a Godel Ba'anokim, dort was es da Anokim, Himmel, die Böden, Menschen, der manche Hashem, der Jöchen, uns von der Russian Gebäude bei sich. Mitgehalten, wie Jesus wird gesagt, die Mesechte, die schwere Mesechte von Kabbalas Yisur und Ba'avro. From the beginning, when I was, the Ruvim was always bekannt with me. I felt for him, as they took my heart. But I was watching it more mikufia, gedenk, Zen, Ruven's Tfilis and Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. I sit not far from him in yeshiva. Still, because Sveina B'Sefer Achayim, I can still hear it now. From the first years, those years mitgehalten, Mekufidik, I wasn't learning this Masech to be on this Gezen. When Yochanan came to learn in the Koil, and I looked at the Bechavrusa, these last 9 years, habe ich gesehen, wie ihr und Rav, habe ich gesehen, die Mesechte, Beschlei Musa, mit der ganzen Gadlus. Dann wollte I have to say the stories, and I was genommen, was ich gesehen, I saw this myself. We were many together, we were learning Chesed and the Birchman, that was before the transplant, used to walk around with a telephone all day, because Nefesh phone, Shabbos, Yom Tov, he always had the phone with him. In the middle of learning, we were out in the midnight oasis, and the phone rang. The phone rang because Nefesh. It means with his wife, that their lungs weren't working, they're waiting for a transplant. He walked out of his Nefesh. He came back in, continued running the tests. Continued, we were up to, as if nothing happened. I asked him, wasn't that because Nefesh phone? He said, yeah, it was. My wife's oxygen fell out, and she started turning blue. Baruch Hashem, someone put it back in. The Yeshloima, as a tests. That's what we went to learn. And the Zokhtebe Amaisis and Rebbe Chonam, he was sitting and learning, and he got a telegram that his wife had a baby. And the State of Meister, Rebbe Chonam got up, made a bracha, Hateva Amaited, and as he was sitting down, he said to them, "Man sag ihr noch, man da mal rein und schritt und besäuf, ist da nicht die ganzen Kind Schritte nicht?" Und ich frage, aber ich sage, Gott hat was Shanema bei ihr und Jösser was Shanema bei Moshe. Welcher Meister ist größer? Als Meister, ein Mann mit der Schaubes an Nefesh, ruhig, sitting and learning, his wife was turning blue, und wer weiß, was die kennt, geschehen in einer Minute, mit der ganzen Ruhigkeit zurückgerein in die Gemorge. Und wer hat ihm gegeben das Ruhigkeit? Who gave him this Bitochen? Who gave him this Ruhigkeit? We heard before the way he was talking, dass he gewendet mit Teres, weil Isha doch schon, weil Teuf, die ganze Teuf ist gewähnt von die Isha. Die Isha gave him the Ruhigkeit. And even on last night we were talking, and he was crying, he's telling me, Biful months he left her alone, and he went to Cradle the whole day. He went to Cradle from 9 to 7, how did I leave her alone? You never left her alone. Sie ist gekommen mit ihr in this man, she learned with you, dein ganze Leben, es gewinnt aus ihre. This was all her Torah. She gave it to the mismanaged, that's what she wanted. Birkman spoke before, he said about the guy in Fragen Ashaiva, the Reb Chaim Kanievsky. He came back from Eretz Yisrael, he showed me the letter that the Mefteres wrote to Reb Chaim Kanievsky asking the Shaiva. The Shaiva wrote the Promoten from the Machel, what is that, what the doctors are saying. And she writes, as I wonder what is my tachlis in the, that's what she writes. If the Rebbeinu Shalom wants I should have children, then I want to have children. And if the Rebbeinu Shalom wants that I shouldn't have children, I'll do my tachlis without having children. As I think this is what she wrote. The Shaiva, given our Shaiva, we're talking about somebody else. It's not negating. What's the time to the Geschichte of der Welt? What was I here? What am I here for? Es ist ein Zbare geworden, jetzt auf Schmini erzählt es, als der Tachlis auf der Welt, die gewinne andere Tachlis. Der Tachlis, da ist gewinne ein Tachlis, was in Bekeim gewinne beschreiben ist. Der Tachlis ist gewinne ein Tachlis von anderen Limudim, von der Wegstelle, von der Saar, Odom, Godel, bei Anokim, losen ein Gemann, nicht losen, machen ein Gemann, lernen, Shalvis Nefesh. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago we were talking about what's going on in the hospital. She hardly recognizes him. And the Birchman was saying that the most I could do is be there. That when she looks at me, I could look back at her and show her that we're in this together. That's all I could do for her. That was the feeling. And then he asks me, what are they learning in the Kollel? And what's he learning in his Kollel? And the Masechta he learned last time that the Shtigim in der Chelik, and he got this is clear. Everything that he was talking about as his wife doesn't recognize him. Und the Shalvas HaNefesh was gehabt to talk about his Aliyah Ruchnius. Das ist ausgewählt, gekommen von ihr. Last year, we went on this the beginning of this year, maybe, actually, was a new treatment that they were going to start. And the Mefteres asked the doctor how long they could wait. If you could wait till her husband would be able to come after first aid. A treatment that we were talking about after they knew as this is very bitter. Oh, but the Shaitan is maybe my husband could stay till after first aid. Medrash steht in Gehelas, steht Shlosh Shem is Yesh Adam. Person has 3 names. There's a Shem Shekol Le'Adam V'Imoy. Every person gets a name. There's a Shem Shekol Le'Achayim. The person is in this world. He gets a reputation. People call people a certain name. And then there's a Shem Shekol the Sefer Tildes Kriyosef. There steht a Preis in the Medrash brings it in Gehelas. Which one of the names is the person Chaviv with? Bosh Shlomi Repinish, Toiv Shem Mishem and Toiv, V'yoyim HaMoves Miyom Yivolder. The Shem from the Yom HaMoves, the Shem Shekomer Boi Lomoi, person is Chaviv Odom B'Shmoy. Nulad Odom, person is born, Hakil Smechem, everybody's so happy that a baby was born. But nobody knows if the child is going to be a tzaddik or the chas v'shodom, the child will be a Russian. If the child will be good, zayin toiv, or zayin ra, nobody knows. Yom HaMoves, hakol goychim, so the medrash ve'enike. It's not what's supposed to be. About the negation. But be'emes, deep down, is tzorich l'smoyach steht in medrash. Shenifta b'shem toiv v'yotzer v'no'ilom b'sholem. The person goes through azad welt, mit azifil nisyonis, mit azifil sheker, mit azifil yitzahorah in this world, and the person goes out of this world b'sholem. The person goes out of this world b'shem toiv. Is this a gewaltige simcha be'emes? I thought it's very hard to feel the simcha, but deep down after wissen, as a mention solche gewinnt as a sach. Nicht steht in always, Kona Shem Toiv Kona La'atzmai. The Tesis Yom Tov says the Taich wasn't Kona La'atzmai, he says, I mean, Kona Atzmusai. If a person is koine Hashem Tov, they're koine themselves. Ki odom shenifta v'lekono l'Hashem Tov lo l'chayim. What does he have to live for? A person's tachlis in this world is the Shem Tov, the Shem Tov shekona, the Shem Tov is mit aufgetan, the Shem Tov is mit gemacht in die Welt, was mit der Robe gebracht, the Midas Tov, the Avdus Hashem, und das Aschchinen hat die Brot der, und erwartet, dass everyone was mentioned that before, as the Kesher, from the Ishe Schchine Beinayim, die Jiden haben mal gebracht, der Schchine auf die Welt, das in der Beis HaMikdash, die nach der Birchen und Zeret, die Mama schmeckt der Haus, gibt auf die Beis HaMikdash, aber sie ist wer es gewinnt, als sie ist gewinnt, die Schchine Schchine Beinayim, they brought down the Beis HaMikdash, in this world. Und das ist gewähnt der Tachlis. It seems like der Ebenstört gepasst gibt, dass der Tachlis ist gewähnt zu erweckstellen, die Körper, zu erweckstellen, als Gewann, zu weisen, als Kindischem Shemayim, zu weisen, als Bitochen bei Hashem, waiting for a nest, when they know that the Derech HaTeva, there's no way for it, wissen, als Einoi Milvadoi, wissen, als es nur der Teure in der Welt, and being happy without having any goof, and without having any Olam Hazeh, nor was man kennt ihnen der Ebenstern. So man sagt, alle learn from this, also wir alle die Redners und früher gerät. Und das ist sein, als everyone we should all take from this, learn from ourselves. Every person has their service, how they want their life to be, and how I would want to stelle is, and ich will gewollt, and this Nefteres taught us, the Ebenstern should show me the tachlis of my life. Ich will tun the Schliches, was the Ebenstern mir geschickt, und der Ebenstern helfen von der Sky, wenn der Posttag, wenn er sagt, wir haben beweisi, wir können Yod Vashem, Toiv mi Bonem und mi Bones. Das sagen wir, aber das war nicht, sag ich, Hashem, die mir alle bekommen. Rivky, was such a seductive. We had nothing. We had nothing. Our whole life was this. Not just the whole life was this. We had services. This time. She has such a sweet time, she has such a chayim. 20 years ago, she was sick the second time. And she said, "Wait my nachbar. What am I being waited for? What am I being waited for something?" She said, "Shut up, I on vacation." Like the image that was her whole life was just sad. She lived it. That's what she was. last 10 years we saw. She couldn't breathe. Now she was breathless. It's sad. The good times. The good times. Nobody realized, made sure nobody realized. She couldn't breathe, and she had so much chayim. Chayim was so real. She had so much chayim. She was so alive when Chiz came. There's a chayim of chayim when Chiz came. After making Hashem came, chayim came to me with the British Shlomo. I was alive. With the Suda Katana, without knowledge, went through British Shlomo. She was sitting with the British Shlomo for davening. Like, just sat there, just talking to the British Shlomo, tears just streaming down his lap. She was there. It was a Hannah Mechana. She was with the Ebenstein. Part of it, Chaim was, part of it came from the other mama we loved. She understood. And that's what built up her Chaim. The other mama we loved, even before she got sick, she was always with Amelis. Everything came to her with Amelis. She was always Amelis. We saw it. So when she was sick, there was always work. She never shied away from it. She never. You saw it every day. Yom Tov, Shabbos. The Chaim itself, what Shabbos was, it wasn't just to get through it. It wasn't stop. It was made. It was real. It was Shabbos. It was Yom Tov. It was there, it was real. The Sudas and everything was so real. Everything was the retired. She was always. Just about living with the Irishman. Part of the other problem, when you look, part of the Chaim was, when she was sick. She wasn't just sick and waiting for people to come. When a person's sick, they need chizuk, and they need lifting, and they need it. She wasn't sick and waiting for people to come to her. I'm ashamed to say that we didn't always realize. We should come and we should come to her. We should take part in her tzara. She always reached out and she was asked. She made sure she had a chaim. She always made sure she had a chaim and what she did for other people, and it was all part of the chaim. It was all part of what she lived. It was about the resistance. It was hard for her. Things that she did, things that she didn't have herself, that occurs at time that we had, which words that you showed for our kids. It was very hard for her, and she didn't want it. It took work. This other level, it took work. And she bought toys for her nieces and nephews to have in her house. It was very hard for her. She did it in Mesiras Nefesh. The way she spoke to the kids with such warmth. The way she started with Simcha, text we got. The Mazel Tov was, when we had children, and Mazel Tov, thanks we got the warmth. It's so I had an appointment and I had to. She's worried about how exactly what she has to do in order to do for someone else's chassan, for a chassan or for a simcha. Now they have a chassan, she came, she was so simcha. One of my kids, she spoke. She was speaking to one of my kids about their Chumash Sukkah in the morning. She was talking to them about the Chumash Sukkah. She's such warm, such care about our own children. We went there for Shabbos. Harvard, she reached out before she had a year and a half ago, before she was going after Pesach, and she was very sick. And there was this treatment that they were trying to get, they were on the way to get. And she reached out to us, and we could come for Shabbos, for her chizuk. For her to have chizuk. She made such a Shabbos. It's right before she didn't know. It was right before, and she asked us to come give chizuk. We went there, we got such a chizuk. We couldn't even give her chizuk. We had such a chizuk. Pasha singing her at Yochi. What she lived and what she breathed and what she and her Shabbos and what it meant to her, she knew what it is. When we sang, we see her Shama, she was not in a different world. She knew what it was, she knew what the Chaim, she knew what it was, she was mamish living with her man Shalom. She sang for us a poem. And she was writing how hard it was for her. What is it, Bunch of want? What is it? So much sorrow that she has. At the end, she says, through it all, I'm going to sing this song. She knew what Shira was. She knew what Shira was, this living life and living with your Rebbeinu Shalom. She always, she called singing this living life to the fullest. She didn't have the Sulik Tana, she didn't have Gashmi, she didn't know the Buff. She was cool, she was cool. And Hannah B'char, she was sitting with the Rebbeinu Shalom. And I know that she had, I know that she had buying Yochesh, Svarim and the Shas, how busy she got to make sure it came now and came then, to make sure it comes on time. She had such enough from Pasha buying Svarim for her husband. She knew what last 2 years and a half years, she knew that this was all she wanted was this chus HaTorah. She didn't want anybody who was offered to go to Eretz Yisrael, for this and for that. Don't go to Eretz Yisrael, just sit and learn and make sure the learning is more, just make sure it's real learning. And she knew what she needed for a fool, this chus HaTorah. We didn't reach out enough. I know we didn't reach out enough, and he made it so easy. He made it easy, and you were always the one to reach out. And you told me that you told me that we should have this. We should become more of a kesher. It was part of your godless. I have to ask Mechila. for not reaching out enough, not being with you enough. Me and Robertson, as we weren't with you enough. Wir haben sehr schön, und bei der ganzen Sprache, wir haben uns dann auch noch schon mit dem gemacht.
What am I going to say now? I wouldn't do that. That's cute. That's the kid without to die. That's the guy without a leg. What did they say? What did he say? And they secure, but answer down to earth. So what's called regular. Noch een zeeïstische Jiddischkeit, trappings. Wat friendship and we are. Keeps us apart. Jasmine, I didn't have left this big gate. But that way the shadow. Such a good shooter. She had problems going to appointments because of doctors, like she said before, especially before the doctors in Kaifra. That was the problem with the appointments. She said it would take her 2 weeks to overcome it after every appointment. Every day is an exam. Every day is another therapy. All they have is random. That was like one of her. She lived it, she breathed it. Yoshi's betroffen. Yoshi's a Buddha. Maybe, think about making you Dasheff is here, he said, if you have to shut it, you have to make it to the Xer. Who do you find such a B'tachon? Who do you find such a Buddha? They came down 33 years. No, which of those will never be forgotten. How could you be forgotten such? Exactly the Buddha of the Torah. And Kibbutz the kid. Standing back years ago. Another mention. We become a Shmai. Ebed Melech is Melech. Everything was such beauty, was such nefesh, such neshama. It's alles schrecklich. Wo ist er? You really does. It's causing the usual. We eat moments with us. Please, illustrate whatever happened already. What you direct express. But everything is clear. But down here we're still living in different situation. No. Ask. That was the reverse that your parents should be able to go on weiter and damit es erkennen. Ich had a little bit of Uranus because of Chaim. Like you left over your Shabbat Chaim, Muchal Chaim. You should get a little bit of Yuchis of Yosef, like you did that. Parents are also devoted. Never see if that's what should never I'm schwachen. Entschuldigung. Never see if that's no matter. You know, walked with you, lived with you, encouraged you. Who was always there for you. The negotiation for him, we should be able to continue as a nice language. Sorry, I can't.
and buried the snake together with his father. And the Gemara says that the snake prevented them from entering the cave. The Gemara says that everyone thought that he didn't reach his father's madrig. The Gemara says, no, you have to pass the Gemara, no. It's a high on the top, no, it's a high on the top. You can't just look at a person's madrig and see, you have to know what you sort of they went through. Who knows what you went through? I can't describe what I know about 23 years ago. What I know about the transplant before I joined the family. Even from the last 9 years. I was looking people. Moshi the passing was the schnur and stop to get out shit. They should cry for the clouds. The voice was a candy. She made that super was now up. The voice was had them kind of. The Gemara, I'm watching a parody. The voice was had them kind of. I'm watching a parody. Stop to get out shit. Because I didn't have to be there. There's no question that there was a fucking irony, that there was a place where you stopped at Ganashti, so you went to say, I go from this way on Nefesh. Oh, I never saw anything. But the thoughts was I in the hell of Kaima. Sometimes someone could be sad, but they're hiding their sadness, they can smile. We steht denn erzählen, was du für ein Abweg zu der Worte der Reue. Susanne, das Kinderhaus, we didn't see any sadness. We only saw happiness. Was heißt, I can't live in Karma. Even from the last 9 years, never saw anything. Our kids loved going to the house. It was the happiest place. It was mentioned earlier. We said, Nishviyisho, Shalomine, Shkina Shulibine. But the Shnu was Eish, Shkina Shulibine. She's the happiest person. She loved the simple people. She enjoyed people's company. People enjoyed her company. In the hospital, the staff would come in. Which one's a patient? She was able to hide everything. She functioned happily. We were sitting in the house before Pesach. The worst was going on. And she sang the song. She sang a niggun over there, Chevasei Bailama, and she said she knows the Chevasei Bailama. She went to Chashem. She asked for AIDS. He didn't want to give advice. She pushed him. He said, if you show him, if you're sad, you're going to be sad. And if you look from that look, it looks like our Father Hashem doesn't take care of his kids. So be happy to Kiddush Hashem. Who can hear such a thing? She was able to say it over and demand it from herself, and she lived up to it. I have to show that a father takes care of all the kids. I can live happily. And the couple mentioned before, whenever she would get Yochel would give a chabura. She lived through Yochel's Torah. Cool. The chabur. She was waiting to hear. And just recently, Yochel gave a chabur in the summer's land. They said it was a masterpiece. It was at a time she couldn't even sit, which means you can't function. That's what it would mean. But she told me I davened very hard. Took the last second to give look at her guts. She's so different as learning. She never wasn't functioning. She couldn't do it in the house. She was davening. We were able to see her input sometimes on the Yochel house from Rivky, right? Knicker, and put in the learning. And the old Kyle was in Salo. Yochel was coming to Kyle every day. He was staying for 9 hours, a lot of time straight. And Rivky was alone. And the whole Kyle was gate from him. And the Chabura gate. And it was Nicholas from her spouse. Also, Claude was her input. After we got cancer, we had enough time. That better than Mechila. Who's giving my cross or insensitive enough to you in your pain? It's not an excuse about your Mechila. You might believe my Mishmachal, Kyle. You got some Mishmachal. But that's what she was Kyle, that's what Mechila.
you want us to be like some more. We didn't do enough. Ich bin mir nicht sicher, wie oft ich manche Fälle noch weiter. Verdammt, der Mann, ich get so much for their pay. Ich took responsibility for being a mishpachlo. Ich bin mir nicht sicher, for your siblings, each and every one of them, for your mother. Oh, your brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws. For our mamas, the netzach, and mama Hashem, I can do them.
Was at a time when she didn't have to talk the phone. She sent the text. She didn't send the text the day before to tell anyone to do anything. She thought everything she did, everyone did. It was just a matter of, what am I doing and what are you doing? She sent the text, what are you doing for pity's first day of this night? What special supper are you making? So every time that she couldn't make supper, she couldn't do anything that she arranged, like every night she arranged, that there should be when we needed. She arranged that there should be something special, at a special time. A special time was the beginning of this night. The end of this night. Simcha that she had for us. Simcha that she loved us, she loved my daughter. The way she called my daughter, she was such a glee, such an excitement. Mama mentioned that everyone should buy a birthday present for my daughter. Rivky did. She could have gotten out of it like everyone else did. She didn't have time. She didn't have time. The hardest thing for her, she went ahead and did it. The biggest fear was that we're going to forget you. It's not trying to forget you, but not just saying that. I fully know that as well as I have, in the moon of the dozen, and tefillah, and the mishpachas, chashidas hatefillah, chashidas hachayim, and hatefillah. Not asking the king, not just from Tate Nadu, but it came from Rivky also. Who we are is a big feeling from you. For not doing enough, for not coming enough, for not realizing the gravity of the situation. shaking my head. If you raise the first name is mushroom, Abed, Mertzburg, Strabed, Tag is gelukt van. Dus ik denk, zoals je Mertzburg, het is een mushroom hier, en gevoeld is met zoals je Mertzburg. Ik denk, alles jou, ben je meer zichtbaar. Die zijn echt nergens. Mertzburg, niet is het ding, niet is het gaan. Het is een beetje gereed, dus ik heb je gevallen, maar ik ga niet meer, dus ik zeg gewoon niet eens het. En het is mijn woorden, die guy, oh, weet je niet. Ik heb een real, die is echt zo nergens door gebieden zijn net. Maar dat is nergens. Als je gezien gaat doen. Het is een Rivky. Discussions about the Dharma of Muna B'tachit. The go-to discussion was always Muna B'tachit, real Muna, real, what it really means, what the Dharma of real Muna is, what is it, what the fake things. Speak for hours and hours and speak about Muna B'tachit. Remember this, when we speak about Muna B'tachit, you always look at it, and it's always, let's have a Nasika, you always have a Simcha. Such a close discussion. That's amazing. So full of life. So deep personality, so deep. Close together, because she attacking me because I understand what she's going through. She's attacking me because we got to the finger and see your smile. And it wasn't just the cover. She had real smile. It's not to say, we come from the top. She called the stairs with big cracks and then a massive smile as if it was only her to climb up the stairs and then it was all good. And she told us. I could feel that. I didn't understand what she was going through. Everything she did was just to come closer to Dasheff. Everything she made. Everything that went through her huge mind. It's all about coming close to Dasheff. Dasheff said, you want to be close, come to the kiss and come. Come sit right here next to me, then the kiss and come and put your life. As mentioned before, Shrinat's Harris is only one karma. But her karma has to be done. It has to be a shot. And Rivky wasn't shy enough to read that. Wie das a chesed. Always trying to do, always being involved in helping everyone. We thought things would get better. It seemed like such a stare. Look at anything. And she was already gone. I thought she wasn't watching us, but it was the first time she was watching us without a pizza. I'm going to leave tomorrow. We get there, it says about the churban. On one side was the Turinalka, and then there was the churban. About the pizza. You know, the Hangi, you have dancing with some of this. We was not. I was sure. I was asking, we said some short conversations and things that were said. None of them were choice. Of course, we did. We didn't feel with you enough. But I know that you can be my soul. You were always my friend like this. As you always did. It was always fine. You were much better than that. You never cared. But I have to ask. I'm asking with you. Mama was trying to watch and then
Als je nooit nu naar gelost zal, dat we nog persoonlijk gestorven over de maar
So schnell, you can go on.